Imagine that you are a young child, maybe 5 to 6 years old, at Walmart. Maybe your mom and dad has to do the grocery shopping, and so you're there with them. As you are walking throughout the store, you come across the electronics section. You see huge TV screens playing several unfamiliar sounds and images. As you gaze up and down the aisles of all the books and movies, you see something that you haven't seen before. Video games. Maybe you've heard about them over commercials, through the TV, or through the radio, or maybe you've even heard your friends talk about it at school. You see a console ready to try, and you ask your parent or guardian if you can play, and they let you. Maybe it was Super Mario Galaxy on the Nintendo Wii, or maybe, if you're imagining more modern times, maybe it was Super Smash Bros. Or Sonic Frontiers on the Nintendo Switch. You love the experience, no matter what console and game it was. Then your parent says that it's time to go, and while you leave the console, the experience doesn't leave you. You probably beg your parents to let you buy whatever you played. Video games have been a part of our lives in some shape or form for quite some time now. Even if you don't play them, you've heard of at least some. You might even know someone who plays many of them. You've also heard, probably, the negative aspects that gaming can have. But the truth is, gaming is not all bad. It can be very intellectually stimulating and healthy for people in the long run. Some skills that can be learned from playing video games are incredibly useful in everyday life. I would like to show you how skills gained from video games can be very helpful in yours and your children's lives. The variety of video games in this world, countless in fact. With the vast amount of games there is a rating system for them. It is called the ESRB, or the Entertainment Software Rating Board. This is an organization dedicated to rating games in America and Canada. These ratings are E for everyone, E 10 and up, T for teen, and M for mature. E for everyone games are designed with everyone in mind. They're simple level designs and simple appeal to everybody. New gamers, casual gamers, or advanced gamers. Some of these games include Minecraft, Roblox, Stardew Valley, Mario Kart, and Animal Crossing. E10 and up games are child-friendly games, but contain mild violence and mild adult themes. Samples include Sonic Adventure 2, Spider-Man 3, Super Smash Bros., and Just Dance. T for teen games are more violent and contain more adult themes, but they're not so mature to be given the M for mature rating. Some of these games include Jump Force, Bully, and Mystery Legends: The Phantom of the Opera. Finally, there's M for mature. These games are extremely violent and very adult, with very adult graphics as well. Some of these games include Dead by Daylight, Alien Isolation, Mortal Kombat 11, and Resident Evil Village. Before buying a game, do the research on these titles and ratings to find the right fit for whoever the player would be. Games are called games for a reason. They're meant to exercise the brain, keeping the brain healthy in the process. In a study done by C. Sean Green and Daphne Balvier, they describe a study performed by Green where gamers and non-gamers were studied playing an unnamed game and how good they focused. Gamers were found to have the better focus and switch attention on nearby enemies and objectives in a fast-paced environment. While this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the benefits of video games, parents may have some concerns about letting their children play them. There is a common statement about video games made by the media that all violence has a bad effect on children. There was a study done in Japan by authors who go by these last names: Shibuya, Sakamoto, and Ihori. This study surveyed over 100 children on what games they play. Part of the survey was also researching the games themselves. The results stated, and I quote, "Creating critical context toward violence can teach children that violence is inappropriate and socially unacceptable," end quote. A game that contains unrealistic violence and or teaches that violence is bad will show a child that violence is not tolerated and not favorable. Video games also have a good effect on the adult brain and not just the child's. As a young adult myself, I can speak for them. I know a lot of young adults believe we are invincible. We stay up until 3 a.m., walk at night alone or in small groups, and push important things off until the last minute. Alyssa Littman of DDP.com states in her article, "College Students Are Not Invincible," says, and I quote, "People always tell us that when we are young and we are in college, we are unstoppable," end quote. We think this way because we are young and have our whole lives ahead of us. But the truth is, our bodies are just as fragile and susceptible to many diseases. Why am I talking about this, you might be asking yourself. Well, gaming can help with preventing Alzheimer's. When someone has Alzheimer's, a protein called beta amyloid slowly develops in the brain. It clumps together in very high amounts and causing a lot of damage to the brain cells and killing the cell's connection in old age. This causes a lot of memory loss. This gets gradually worse and is usually diagnosed in old age too. Alzheimer's disease is very common and very dangerous. According to the website of the Alzheimer's Association, more than 6 million Americans of all ages have Alzheimer's. An estimated 6.5 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's in 2022. 73% are aged 75 or older. In a supporting article titled, "Can Alzheimer's Begin in Our 20s?" by Nick McKeehan, he discussed a new neurology study that suggests beta amyloid starts forming in our 20s. During the study, 76 people aged from 20 to 60 were scanned, and beta amyloid was found in plaques in the temporal cortex of the brain in everybody. While the amount was not enough to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's, the protein was still there and forming. There is a very good chance that our brains are at risk for developing Alzheimer's in the future, so we must do everything we can to prevent it, which includes brain-stimulating activities such as gaming. Most of us want to remember our life experiences, family members, and friends, so we must try and stop this disease. Also, I should mention that many of the games themselves promote fitness as well. Games like Just Dance, We Fit, and We Fit You all promote exercise and are also fun. You can get the whole family and all of your friends involved to play these games as well. Think of the future for yourselves and your children. Parents. To be a good parent also means to nurture your child's interest. Discouraging your child from doing something they are passionate about is going to put a strain on their relationship with them. Jonathan Decker, a licensed family therapist from the YouTube channel Cinema Therapy, states on their Therapist Reacts to Brave episode, "So parents, if you're watching, your kids are going to figure out who they are, and if you want to be an awesome parent, you gotta let them. You might discourage them out of genuine love and concern. Maybe you're thinking about a possible career in the future. You worry the thing they want to do won't provide a stable income. That's a legit concern, but a concern equally as important is that if the child will be happy. In the future for young adults, we need to be seriously considering our health in the future. I know this has been lectured by so many times by our teachers and our family members, but there's truth in that. They say it out of genuine concern. Now, with all the information I have given, many of you are probably scratching your heads and have your own questions and concerns. Should we all invest time in games to help our children or ourselves, or should we find more productive activities? Let me ask you this. Do you think it would be beneficial to someone if they were to spend all day doing only one thing? I think they might get bored. It would be beneficial for them to maintain some balance and do other things that are more productive, but that does not mean stopping that thing altogether. Another thing, if you or your child has not actually tried gaming, maybe based on your own beliefs or someone else's, try it. It's like that old saying, don't knock it till you try it. You're not going to have your own properly formed opinion if you don't experience it first. If you or someone you know has give gaming an honest shot and it isn't their thing, don't push it. It isn't for everybody. If you're a new gamer and worried about costs, there are plenty of options. If you don't particularly care about playing the newest games, older consoles would be your best option. These consoles include the Nintendo Wii, the Wii U, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, Xbox 360, or the original Xbox. These prices vary, but they're a lot cheaper than the newer consoles. These consoles are the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X. These can range from $300 to $1,000. The most expensive is the PlayStation 5, due to being in limited availability, even after 2 years of being released. If none of these are an option, mobile gaming apps for your phone work as well. I should also note that some laptops cannot handle gaming that well because they run very slowly. Gaming PCs can cost more than $1,000, so it isn't for everybody. So parents, do your research on games for your children. Make sure the ratings fit the child. Nurture their interests and get involved. However, be a parent. Give your child guidelines and limit their screen time to help them do more productive activities and live more balanced lives. Do not discourage, though. Doing that will put a weight on your relationship with them. For young adults, remember that we are just as fragile as everyone else. We have many years left in the tank, and we want to end in one piece. We want to keep our bodies and minds healthy. Keep the brain going and stimulated and form habits that will lead you down a good road. While writing this speech, I thought it would be a good idea to explain some games that I have played in the past and touch on the important life skills that these games have taught me. Leadership was taught to me by Apex Legends because it's a team-placed multiplayer first-person shooter. You play in a team of 3 or 2, and the goal is to kill and outlast as many teams as possible, until yours is the last. Each player has specific strengths needed to win. I began my creativity with the Disney Infinity games. Here's Disney Infinity 3, 2, and 1. You can play as several Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars characters and create your own worlds, games, and puzzles. Nintendo Land has many game modes, but one of them, I don't know if you can see it, is Donkey Kong's Crash Course. In it, you're a cart, and you have to pull all these levers and buttons and platforms to get the cart to the end. It's tricky because if you move too fast, you slam into a wall and die. A good game to learn to strategize is Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. In it, you play a variety of video game characters and you compete. The point is to knock every player off the screen to win. You need to know what your character's moves are and how much damage they do to properly strategize throughout the game. Another important thing is to watch your opponent and learn how to counter them. One game that has taught me concentration is Just Dance. You play a song and watch the dancer on the screen and follow their dance moves. The dancing can range from very easy to very hard. Utmost attention and concentration is needed to succeed. A title that has taught me social skills is Dead by Daylight. This is the one I play the most. I have reached top ranks in both sides, which is pretty hard to do. Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical horror game, meaning the objectives are not the same for each side. There's a team of 4 survivors and 1 killer. The killer is to stop the survivors from their objectives, put them on sacrificial hooks, and kill them. For survivors, their objectives are to power up 5 power generators throughout the map, open up the exit gates and escape. It's also to help keep each other safe and avoid the killer. When survivors want to get on the game, they might have a team of people that they join with because they know those people are good and they might have a good probability of succeeding with them on their team. Civility and good sportsmanship are very important in teamwork, and this game teaches that. There is a good concern with spending too much time playing these games, but this can be stopped when the person becomes aware and seeks help to stop this. After knowing all the benefits and some problems that gaming can cause, my proposal is this. Do the research and find the game that works best for the player. If money is a concern, find an older console or mobile gaming. If you have a laptop that can handle video games, use that if you want to. Just make the effort and try gaming. If you give it an honest try and end up not liking it, that's totally fine because it's not for everybody. Gaming has a lot of benefits and teaches teaching life skills, keeping the brain active, helping people be social, and being a career choice. If you are a parent and your child has interest in gaming, let them. Give them boundaries and limits, and limit their screen time so they can live a balanced life. But take an interest and help them learn about themselves. For young adults, try taking your health seriously. Gaming can help prevent Alzheimer's, a very real and very common disease that affects the memory. I know for a fact most of us want to remember the people that we meet and the things we accomplish in life.